Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another perfume review. Tremendous. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another perfume review. And the perfume we are reviewing today is Amen Pure Wood by Thierry Mugler. This perfume review will follow my tried and trusty technique of telling you the notes, telling you which notes I get, and then just discussing the fragrance until I am happy that I have discussed it. Okay. This is one of many flankers of Amen that started coming out in about 2008. Amen was released in 1996, I want to say. And then B-Men was released in 2003, 2002. Quite a different perfume, that one, though. Then, in 2008, things like Pure Malt, Pure Havane, Pure Wood, Pure Coffee, Pure Leather, Pure Chili, which is actually called Taste of Fragrance, but in French. They all came out. Ultra Zest as well, of course. Lots and lots of flankers. Pure Shot, which featured Oscar Pistorius, the year that he purely shot his girlfriend. No, Jesus. This one is Pure Wood. It came out in 2014. I imagine the perfumer was Jacques Rouclier, but I could be wrong. He was the original perfumer for Amen. Hasn't done a lot of other things, like doesn't get a lot of love or anything like that. There is a blurb for this fragrance, so I will read it for you. Thierry Mugler announces Amen Pure Wood, a new limited edition of its most popular men's fragrances, Amen, from 1996, which will be released in June of 2014 even. Christ. The fragrance announcement promises the untamed energy of nature collides with the refinement of Amen, a wild encounter for connoisseurs only. Amen Pure Wood, bold seduction. The composition is described as an oriental woody with a distinctive note of coffee. It is made of oat notes, coffee, vanilla, patchouli, and cypress. The signature bottle shape is designed so that it looks like it's made of wood. The star in the middle adorns it with shades of amber. The fragrance is available as a 100ml eau de toilette. The notes are oak, coffee, patchouli, vanilla, cypress, as the blurb said. The notes I get: wood, vanilla, and a little bit of cypress. So, this is one of the many flankers of it. I don't know how many there were at this point. I gave you a little bit of a history in the opening, but this is one of the lesser heralded ones. The most popular ones back in the day were Pure Havane and Pure Malt. For me, they were brought out in the wake of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million, which was a massively overly sweet perfume that was kind of like a play on Amen, but without that kind of savoury aspect of the coffee. It was neon caramel. It was candy floss. It was huge and sweet and unapologetically like pink. Neon pink, you know. The Angel Men flankers started with Pure Malt, which they claimed was aged in barrels. So that was a good 10 to 15 years before Amouage poached the idea. I thought it was bollocks then about the Amen thing, and I think it's bollocks now. Total bullshit. I mean, they might very well be aging it in barrels of former barrels of like whiskey and brandy, but what the fuck? Just stop. Don't give us that. This fragrance takes the DNA of Amen, which used to be a dirty word, a dirty phrase back in the day, because everybody got sick of hearing about it, because there was a new one of these every year, felt like every week. And it takes it and essentially strips away the lavender, the caramel. I've got some on my hand, that's why I haven't sprayed it. I've already pre-sprayed it. Strips away the lavender, strips away the caramel, strips away the mint. A lot of the coffee, it lists coffee here, but it kind of gets hidden by the darkness of like the patchouli and the quote-unquote oak, the quote oak. The woods and the woodiness smell quite generic, quite flat, still, boring. It's definitely one of the less inspiring versions of Amen. The performance is massive, as per usual. The bottle, you used to be able to get these for 50 quid. You know what I mean? Like 50 quid, it's worth every penny, but even 10 years ago, 50 quid wasn't a great deal of money. You know? You're getting a lot of perfume for your money. It's just perfume prices have just got on a rocket and somehow just kept accelerating exponentially more. And I think the Amens go for almost twice what they used to now, since L'Oreal took over. These were made by Puig, I believe. Opens up. And you get a flash of that DNA, but again, this does not pay homage or allude to the DNA as much as something like Pure Malt, Pure Havana, even Pure Coffee, you know? Those fragrances are a lot more aligned with the original than this was. And then a year later, Ultra Zest came out, and that was, again, had some elements of Amen, but it was very different. I think maybe it's at this time they'd kind of felt that they'd ridden the DNA into the dirt. Like, starts off quite woody. You get a little bit of the vanilla, a little bit of the darkness, this kind of nondescript. That's kind of how I would define. If you take nothing else away from this review, this is kind of nondescript. You're not getting that vintage Amen classic experience, you know, where you get the Amen DNA with a twist. It's not what this is. This is kind of boring. It's got a generic woody, dark woody kind of profile. The wood kind of sticks around but doesn't do anything interesting for a long time, you know. The vanilla plays a large part. The patchouli's there. There's a tiny bit of coffee. Cypress. I actually get quite a bit of cypress from this, strangely. There's like a little bit of greenness. And I wouldn't call Amen green. Like, maybe ever. You know? In my years of smelling Amen, I would never have associated the word green with it, even though some of them, the mint is huge. But this does have a little bit of greenness, maybe from the wood, maybe from the cypress, maybe even the patchouli, but it's there and it's weird. It's got a cheap vanilla ice cream kind of vibe going on with some synthetic cheap woody material that I just find boring, if I'm being honest. Uninspiring, friends, uninspiring. The secondary prices are an absolute madness now. It's going for over 200 quid. I've had this up for sale and finally sold it today. So that's that. Thanks very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.